Today I got a hot take that might ruffle some feathers when it comes to the PlayStation space. Now, the PS6 could end up being the worst selling PlayStation console of all time in my opinion. I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. I'm going to break down exactly why I think the PS6 is set to flop compared to its predecessors and why you might not even think about worth upgrading from the PS5 for myself and for many other gamers alike. Let's start with the fact that most gamers are still playing on 1080p displays. Even as we move into the 2025 year, the success of the PS5 has been huge. But with so many players content with their current setups, is the PS6 even necessary? The PS5 is a powerhouse capable of most 4K game compatibility, lightning fast load times with its SSD, and incredible backwards compatibility with PS4 games. So for an average gamer, the PS6 might not even cross their mind. What's the incentive really to upgrade from a PS5 when it's still handling everything you need? Now, obviously the stick drift could be an issue, but that's besides the point. Another thing is to consider where the PlayStation and Xbox are both heading, which is towards a digital-only future. Look at the newer PS5 consoles, even the PS5 Pro, which doesn't come standard with a disk drive, neither does the new Xbox Series consoles. And for game collectors, that is a nightmare. Physical media has been and will be becoming obsolete, which is unfortunate for a lot of PlayStation and Xbox fans. I'm not really big into Nintendo, but I know that space they really still do focus on physical media and selling that, as that still does make Nintendo a lot of money. But in terms of PlayStation and Xbox, they really want to sell their subscription service even more, in my opinion. Now, it's not looking good for many collectors and many avid fans of PlayStation like myself. I really like to keep discs, as you can, if you don't like the game, you can sell it, or you can collect game cases and all of that for your collection, and that's what I really enjoy doing, and a lot of people also do as well, but it is looking bad for us in that sense. But think about the jump in graphics from what we saw from the PS4 and the PS4 Slim to the PS5. Many people that own the PlayStation 4 have had the PS4 original or the PS4 Slim console. Most people did switch to the PS4 Pro, which had a significantly better SSD and statistics in terms of how it looked like in games for the fidelity and all of that from the PS4. But from the standard PS4 console to the PS5, it was a pretty massive jump, right? The PS5 can also almost play all PS4 games, and which made it very, very great in terms of better frame rates, higher visuals, overall smoother experience, right? Social media went absolutely absurd and hyped over the PS5. And even today, it's still a very hot item on many people's wish lists. But will the PS6 have that same kind of hype? I personally don't think so, because the need to upgrade will just not be there anymore like it was from the PS4 to the PS5. Because to the naked eye, a 8K display isn't really that much different from a 4K display, right? A lot of tech nerds and a lot of people that really look deeper into the statistics of what a console can handle might, want to make that upgrade, of course. Now, here's another kicker. The price. With inflation on its way up, I predict the PS6 will cost standard $700 US when it is finally announced, which could be as early or as late as 2026. At the price point, why would gamers just not build a higher end gaming PC with this? Not only could you use that for gaming, but you can also work on it, study on it, create a business on it. And with a PC, you don't have to shell an extra $100 a year for PS Plus or Xbox Game Pass, And if you're not a big die-hard gamer or a big PlayStation fanboy or a Xbox fan, it just makes more sense to go the PC route for the average gamer than it is to get your hands or pay an inflated price or a hyped up price for a PS6 or the new Xbox console, even if we might even see one, right? Now, speaking on memberships, I think PlayStation is going to shift more towards the subscription model, just like the Xbox did, right? The success that Xbox is seeing with their subscription services is much more vast than they've seen with their hardware sales with the Xbox Series S and X consoles. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony starts to put more emphasis on PS Plus, or whatever they like to call their new service, maybe, and create something similar to the Game Pass that drives more revenue for the end product or or the end service which PlayStation will be focusing on. And sure, there will be still those diehard collectors which will line up to pre-order that PS6, or scalpers ready to resell and hype the F out of the PS6, but I don't think the hype will match what we saw from the PS4 to the PS5, especially when it comes down to the overall knowledge in the gaming space these days. People are getting more savvy and understanding that, is it the real value proposition that Sony is bringing with these consoles and Xbox is doing with their consoles and services, right? Will it really be worth that upgrade? I think that people are more getting educated day by day with an abundance of content creators spewing out their point of views as well. I created my main channel, Nizion, based off the game Grand Theft Auto. It is the most, undoubtedly one of the most influential and the most popular games in the world. Now, this game, GTA 6, might actually change that perspective of when and how, or maybe even why, the PS6 will be a success. Now, the big question and rumor that is spewing around the internet right now is if the PS5 or even the PS5 Pro, which is not even out for the time of me recording this video, will it be able to handle Grand Theft Auto 6 at 60 FPS? I remember back in the day where there was a big joke going around, can it even run Crysis? That was like a joke if on a gaming space, and if the console can run Crysis at a higher frame rate because it's very demanding. I think that is going to go hand in hand with the new GTA 6 game, as it's going to have a lot of detail, a lot of story driven factors, a lot of content, especially for GTA 6 Online. Will that console be able to handle it at a set 60 FPS, which is honestly a gaming standard in 2024 in my personal opinion? If you're not playing video games at 60 FPS, you're not really enjoying it. That's just my opinion. I believe a lot of people can agree with that as well. But GTA 6 and PS6, Sony and Rockstar, this might be a huge marketing play for them to, make it so that it's a very big game, and that's why they might focusing on the long term for Grand Theft Auto, for Rockstar, for Sony, that they will also make it a bundle with like a remastered version of GTA 6 on the PS6 hardware that now runs on 60 FPS, much more smoother, and 4K perhaps. And this whole time you could just get it on PC if Rockstar even wants to release it on PC, right? That's why they're holding back on pushing out a PC launch of GTA on the PC side of things, right? And of course, modders do ruin the game for a lot of online players. It's just the unfortunate truth with gaming on PC. Modders have ruined it, right? And that's why Rockstar want to, protect their property. But at the end of the day, the PlayStation 6 is inevitably coming. But I don't think it's going to have the same impact as the PS5 had. And I really do enjoy the PS5 console, right? The console itself, the hardware is the best I've ever experienced. Right out the box when it came out back in 2020, before COVID and whatever, it was an absolute blast. I had a ton of fun playing with it, and it was just phenomenal, right? Obviously, game developers are struggling to make ends meet in terms of like their financial point of view, putting out games. There's not a lot of games that are high quality anymore on the PlayStation 5. Many of you guys could agree. I think the PS4 was the last very good generation of games. It had a ton of games, and the games that are on PS4 and Xbox One are still being remastered on the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X consoles to date, and they're the most played games. Like if you look at Fortnite, GTA, Call of Duty, they're all available on the PS4 consoles, right? You just want to play it on the PS5 because you have it and it's just a better experience on that, but you could still play it on your PS4 or Xbox One, right? So at the end of the day, I just don't think the PS6 is going to be hyped like it was with the PS5 from the PS4 to PS5 jump. And I think that the PS6 will be probably the worst selling PlayStation console of the past 3 decades, I believe, of how PlayStation has been around. I think this will be their worst selling console comparative to like something that you can get your hands on, like a high-end gaming PC. But hopefully you enjoyed today's video. It's just my point of view of the PlayStation 6, and now we're getting closer and closer to the next generation, and eventually we will be calling the PS5 even last gen. Your boy Optage, and I will be catching you all in my next video. Goodbye.